Hello, listeners. Before we begin, just a quick note. This scenario, like the game itself, is entirely fictional and intended for entertainment purposes. It contains supernatural and exaggerated elements inspired by the absurdity and the horror of wartime propaganda, pulp adventure, and vampire cinema. That said, the events of the 10th of May, 1941 are very real and very strange. What exactly happened that night remains one of the more curious and contested episodes of the Second World War. We've taken considerable liberties, but if this story sparks your interest, we sincerely encourage you to explore the real history behind it, because, as so often happens, the truth is far stranger and darker than any fiction. Now, on to the episode. Before we sink our teeth into tonight's episode, I want to take a moment to give a heartfelt shout-out to Kev and the team at G3 Toys in Weston-super-Mare, the very place I picked up not only this copy of Eat the Reich rulebook, but also the character sheet pack which made this whole unholy nightmare possible. G3 is my go-to haunt for all things tabletop, from TTRPG core books and dice to board games expansions, and most importantly, the space and community to actually play them. Seriously, if you're local and craving a roll of the dice, their evening nights are buzzing with regular RPG and collectible card game sessions, including 3 ongoing campaigns across 3 different systems run by yours truly. You'll find them on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and their excellent Discord server where you can catch me lurking in the digital shadows. They've also got a great web store with click and collect or home delivery, ideal for stocking up before your next expedition into the undead underworld. Now, this isn't a paid ad, we just love what they do, so this entire scenario is proudly and gruesomely, not to mention affectionately, dedicated to Kevin, Jason, and the rest of the G3 team. Right then, let's begin the horror. My Daughter's Keeper presents Get Hess, a scenario for Eat the Reich. Episode 1, Coffins over Strathaven. Date, 10th of May 1941. Location, the windswept lowlands of southern Scotland. Status, compromised. While the Third Reich sharpens its knives for Operation Barbarossa and the Wehrmacht floods eastward to dismember the Soviet Union, something strange unfolds in the shadows. Rudolph Hess, Deputy Führer, and the third most powerful man in the German Reich, embarks on a solo secret mission. In a bizarre bid to broker peace with Britain, Hess climbs into a Messerschmitt Bf 110 under the cover of darkness and flies west. His destination, Donegal House, the ancestral seat of the Duke of Hamilton, a man Hess believes will welcome him with open arms and a handshake for peace. But Hess's dreams of diplomacy are smashed like glass on tarmac. His plane runs low on fuel, and he is forced to bail out just 12 miles short of his target. He parachutes into the lonely Scottish field, twisting his ankle on impact and dislocating history in the process. He's found not by soldiers or diplomats, but by a farmer named David McLean and his formidable, God-fearing mother. Introducing himself as Captain Alfred Horn, Hess begs for aid and is granted it. While enjoying a cup of tea with the elderly Mrs. McLean, David makes 2 phone calls. One is to the Duke of Hamilton's residence, requesting a meeting per Hess's instructions, and the other is to the War Office. And that one he never speaks of again. That's where you come in. The brass don't trust this Captain Horn, nor should they. Something about this whole affair stinks of dark magic and knots and double-dealing. Your squad, freshly raised, only partially housebroken, and very, very dead, is deployed to intercept Hess before British intelligence can screw it up, or worse, fall for whatever diabolical trap this man has cooked up. You are vampires, blood-drunk commandos in the King's secret undead regiment. You have been given one order: get Hess, alive if possible, dead if necessary. Obliterated if he is not what he claims to be. The mission is simple. The fallout won't be. Well, the two of you awake to find that you've been restrained to what look like hospital beds that have been turned upright, but you're completely strapped down with chains, and there appears to be hawthorn branches that have been wrapped around you, which the slightest prick of makes you really hurt. It's horrible. And before you, into the room, comes a RAF officer. He's in his full uniform, holding his cap, and a clipboard, which appears to have a thick pile of notes on it. He looks at the two of you. Yes. Okay, well, do I call you ladies, girls? What exactly do I refer to you as? That's not really been established. We don't seem to have any protocol for these situations.
Well, I don't know. I woke up and now I'm here. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why I'm here. Me too.
Well, as you girls are aware, you have been at His Majesty's pleasure for nearly a year now. The Ministry of Occultism has decided to put you to some use. You see, we have a defunct unit, which we know as F.A.N.G, the First Assault Nosferatu Group. And seeing as the two of you most definitely fall into the category of creatures of the night, we thought you'd make yourself useful. I'm sure that's better than rotting away in your deep dark hole like you have for the last 12 months.
Yeah, true. Okay, I'll take that.
Right. Well, here's the mission then. Tonight at approximately 6 p.m., Deputy Führer Rudolph Hess took off from Augsburg in a modified Messerschmitt. He was flying solo, no escort, no flight plan. He bailed out just outside of Dunival, near the Duke of Hamilton's estate. Some farmer and his old mum picked him up. Bless the Empire. He's playing coy under the alias of Captain Alfred Horn, but we know who it is, as apparently he'd already made overtures towards the Duke. It was expected. Finally, the farmer put in 2 phone calls. One to the Duke, who was also informed us. But the farmer also called us here. You see, the War Office put through the message to the Ministry of Occultism. And that is where you two come in. We intend to airdrop you into Dunival in the hopes of intercepting Hess. You have to get him. Alive, preferably. Dead if necessary. And if there is more to it than there appears, you have authorization to use extreme measures to make sure that he no longer is a risk. Unfortunately, we cannot tell anybody of your mission. If anyone were to find out about your existence, there would be chaos.
Okay, right. So, if nothing is dangerous, we just capture him. If needed, we hurt him or accidentally kill him. Okay, and if we found out, we just go off the mission.
You have, shall we say, executive authority in this mission. You can do as is required, but we will be picking you up at the Duke of Hamilton's estate. Naturally, we would like to minimize civilian casualties. Don't go eating the natives. However, the area we are dropping you into is not exactly known for being quiet on the cryptid spectrum. There are several, shall we say, infamous creatures that live in the area, and the Duke himself has had to contend with 1 or 2 strange happenings at his family estate.
You will arrive. You will find Hess. Get him, one way or another, preferably before the police or regular army show up. Either way around, you will be left to this mission and will be collected the night after next from the Duke's estate. Can I trust the two of you?
To a degree, yeah. Kind of.
I suspect that's the best I can expect from you creatures. Very well. We will prepare you for your airlift.
The briefing ends with the click of a switch. The lights dim. The steel door hisses behind you, not with ceremony, but with a bored efficiency, a bureaucracy long used to monsters. 2 ministry attendants, white coats and dark glasses, wheel you out, one gurney at a time. You are not prisoners, but you are not, strictly speaking, free. The corridor they push you down is narrow, featureless, and humming with the bass thrum of buried machinery. The air is dry and sterile. Somewhere far above, a world carries on in ignorance. Here, below, things are prepared for deployment. Beneath the ministry, nothing is wasted, not even death. Eventually, the corridor opens into a squat, unlit chamber, lit only by low red lamps and the industrial glow of control panels. At the center, 2 strange metal sarcophagi. Coffins, though no burial rites were ever meant for these. Iron grey, rounded, sealed tight, each mounted on a low steel plinth. The quiet hiss, your chest restraints disengage. You sit up, calm as the saints at their own funeral, peeling back the remaining straps and the pieces of hawthorn branch that seem to be strewn across your limbs. You climb into your assigned coffin, no words spoken, no hesitation. This is what you were made for. The lids snap shut the instant your back meets steel. Pressure plates trip. Clamps engage with a crunch like a jewel locking closed. Darkness. Then vibration. Then movement. The world begins to shift around you. You are being moved, mechanically, automatically. Like munitions on a conveyor belt. Somewhere above, you begin to hear it. The low, heavy growl of a bomber's engine idling. Just behind the veil of concrete and steel. The hum becomes a roar as your containers lurch once, twice. Are lifted, a brief moment of stillness, then ignition. The plane takes off hard, fast, and utterly indifferent to the monsters it carries. Somewhere in the skies above Britain, your war is about to begin. Roughly an hour into flight, sealed in steel and listening to the growl of heavy engines through layers of riveted coffin wool, the first voice crackles in over a tinny internal speaker. It's a clipped, disinterested RAF airman, muffled by altitude and aircraft roar.
Approaching the drop zone now. Not sure how these things will fare. Experimental, you know. You'll get there with your loadout. Just not sure in how many pieces.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out, this whole thing's probably going to explode just as everything falls.
The airman continues unfazed.
Well, good luck. Tally-ho!
Then suddenly, silence. The bay doors scream beneath you, and in an instant, the floor isn't there anymore. Weightlessness grabs you by the spine. You plummet. Still coffin, undead flesh, government blessings, all falling together. You count the seconds. You lose track. You don't breathe, because you don't need to. Then, impact. The world becomes violent. The coffin hits the earth like a bomb. The shockwave shatters soil, stone, and you right along with it. Limbs compress, skulls fractured, ribs fold inward like paper models. You are ruined, every inch of you, flesh torn, organs crushed, bones fragmented, adrift in pulped tissue. But before the pain can even register, before your nerves can scream, you are filled. A violent bloom of fluid erupts from hidden capsules. Thick, red, unholy grace floods the interior. Blood.
fresh, potent, and still humming with the pulse of the innocent. Virgin blood, drawn and sanctified by the Sisters of Our Lady of Perpetual Ruin, a convent whose vow includes silence, humidity, and quarterly donations to the undead war effort. The fluid seeps into your cells, knitting meat back to bone, restores what was broken, and improves what was not. You awaken, not healed, not whole, better. Welcome to Scotland.
And each of the coffin tops pops open. Right, both of you give me a single d6 roll, and we'll see just how exactly you've landed.
Yeah. 5, 1.
Oh, certainly in the case of Cray, you've landed in a wonderful sort of 45-degree angle. As you pop open the front, you're in quite a large crater. Your landing has caused some serious damage to the earth around you. And you can see the tree line. It looks like you've actually dropped into a forest.
Okay.
Pine trees, middle of the night. Poor little Zverki. You've obviously landed flat, upside down, and it takes you quite a bit of effort to lift the heaviest part of the coffin off of you. So let's have a constitution roll.
If we...
Ooh. You found that this thing is heavy. You're kind of stuck. What are you going to do in this situation? How do you react?
No, actually I use my space so I can actually open it.
Yeah, if you're going to use your great spear as like a lever so that you can lift your coffin off, give you an extra dice and you can try again.
4, 5.
Great, that's 2 successes.
There's a groan of stressed metal as something shifts in the gloom. A muffled thud, and then the sound of leverage. Wood against steel. With a hiss and a jolt, the dropped coffin heaves slightly onto its side, and the lid cracks open like the jaws of something very unwilling to stay buried. Giftzwerg Gellhorn, entombed upside down and smiling through it, plants the heft of her polearm against the coffin wall and pushes. Slowly, methodically, she prizes open the lid and lets it fall away with a clattering echo that seems to startle the forest around her. The view is dramatic. Her drop has carved a crater 10 feet deep into the pine grove, earth churned like war-torn clay. Trees lean inwards as if to whisper about it. Cold mist coils at the edge like smoke from a sacrificial pit. She blinks once, her eyes flare ruby in the dark, with that inhuman clarity gifted by undeath. She scans the tree line. There, at the far edge of a matching crater, stands her twin, Kreatur Gellhorn, stock still, watching. The silent symmetry of war-born blood. Both coffins hiss as their internal clamps release. Compartments slide open with mechanical precision, offering up gear. Rifles, blades, relics, explosives, and rations the squad won't need, but the paperwork insists upon. The twins, wordlessly as ever, set about retrieving their kit. Armoured coats fastened, blades secure, teeth bared, only as habit. They move with the stillness of tomb statues brought to life, and the quiet surety of two beings who were made exactly for this.
Now, you remember the maps. The maps showed that there was a wood at the edge of the estate. There was also quite a major road running along close by. Let's find out, shall we? Let's take a look. Oh, you're in luck. You're sufficiently far away from the road, and you're about halfway to the estate. From here, you could quite easily make it to the access road to the Duke's estate, and then wait for Hess to turn up. You can do anything else you want to. However, let's find out how lucky you lot are.
Right.
I want you both give me single rolls.
Single roll?
And we'll see what happens.
Okay, this is a 6.
Both of you get 6s.
I got a 2.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
You got a 6. Wow. That's a crit success, which is fantastic.
I can roll the best one, but it's fine.
Well, Svergi, you're busy getting all of your equipment out and checking everything's ready, putting everything into its holsters and getting ready. But Cray...
As the elder of the Gellhorn twins adjusts the straps on her back harness, the last click of buckles fading into the pine dark stillness, something shifts in the underbush. Not loudly, not carelessly. A pad of movement, measured, deliberate, slow and low to the ground. She freezes, not in fear, but with the instinctual stillness of something already halfway to feral. Her head tilts slightly, and she listens. There, again. A faint rustle, and then soft, unmistakable sounds of clawed paws brushing against leaf litter. It's not the step of a soldier. It's not even human. And then it emerges. Emerging from between the black roots of an old pine, a cat-shaped shadow slips into view. Coal-black fur, matted and soaked with something that doesn't quite reflect the light. Its limbs are too long, its tail curls unnaturally at the tip, and its eyes, twin orbs of baleful green, do not blink. They glow with the low, wet hunger of something that remembers death like a lullaby. The Catsith stops a few yards from the crater's rim, stalking low, its back arched with anticipation. It doesn't flee, it watches. This isn't prey behavior, it's territorial. Somewhere deep in Kreatur's cold brainstem, a warning bell rings. Not of danger, but of challenge. The thing lets out a sound. Not a hiss and not a meow, but a wordless, bone-dry rasp, like old parchment being torn in half. Thank you for joining us on this week's descent into tabletop mayhem. If you enjoyed the episode, or at least survived it, please take a moment to rate and review My Daughter's Keeper wherever you listen. It helps us summon more listeners from the void and keeps the dice gods appeased. If you want to get episodes early, hear bonus content too weird for public release, hang out in our community Discord, or even join us for special Patreon-exclusive games, then head on over to patreon.com/MyDaughtersKeeper and throw us a coin or two. Until then, we'll be back next week with more horror hijinks and probably someone forgetting what dice to roll. Until then, stay weird, keep your snacks close, and whatever you do, don't split the party.